Ever felt like the world is constantly pushing you down, whispering doubts, or even shouting threats? What if I told you that familiar heavy feeling, that sense of struggle, is a deliberate vibration, meticulously maintained for thousands of years? And what if the real power to change it isn't out there, in protest or politics, but deep inside you? I've seen how centuries of fear have shaped our reality, and I've also witnessed the incredible shift happening right now, fueled by individuals like you choosing a different path. The biggest lie we've been told is that love is soft or weak. In truth, it's the most powerful force in the universe, capable of literally dismantling the very structures that have held humanity captive. Stick with me, because this isn't just about feeling good, it's about reclaiming our collective destiny and building a world born from boundless love. Shifting paradigms, from the grip of fear to the embrace of love. For millennia, our world has largely operated under the pervasive influence of fear. This isn't just an emotion, it's a foundational energy, a vibration meticulously cultivated and leveraged by various power structures, governments, organized religions, mass media, and colossal corporations. This system of fear doesn't feel like gentle guidance or inspired leadership. It feels like force, manipulation, overt threats, and the suffocating illusion of scarcity. Has our world felt like that for an incredibly long time? If you're honest with yourself, the answer is likely a resounding yes. This fear-based paradigm has shaped our societies, our laws, our beliefs, and even our most intimate relationships, creating a collective experience of limitation and struggle. It's the background noise of anxiety, the subtle hum of distrust that has long defined human interaction. In stark contrast, there is another power, an opposing force that we are all, often unconsciously, striving to cultivate, the power of love. This higher vibration feels entirely different. It resonates with unity, genuine empowerment, boundless abundance, and true freedom. It's the whisper of compassion, the warmth of connection, the liberating feeling of knowing you are enough, and that there is enough for everyone. The path to transition from a world governed by fear to a reality infused with love isn't through external revolution alone, but through a deeply personal and collective internal transformation. The way we move to this higher state is by courageously undertaking our own healing work, releasing the layers of trauma and pain that have been deeply embedded in the individual and collective human consciousness for so long. The deep roots of fear, a world shaped by control. To truly understand the shift we're undergoing, we must first acknowledge the profound depth of fear's reign. Imagine a world where every major institution, designed ostensibly for our well-being, instead functions to perpetuate a subtle, or not so subtle, sense of dread. Governments, through laws, policies, and even the threat of force, have often managed populations by fostering fear of chaos, disorder, or external enemies. This instills a reliance on authority rather than fostering individual sovereignty. Religions, while offering solace and spiritual guidance, have, in many historical contexts, also wielded fear of divine punishment, eternal damnation, or spiritual exclusion to maintain control and adherence. This created a sense of unworthiness and dependence on external saviors rather than recognizing innate divinity. Media, particularly in the modern age, plays a critical role in disseminating fear. News cycles often prioritize sensationalism, conflict, and disaster, keeping audiences perpetually on edge, consuming more information, and feeling more vulnerable. This constant bombardment of negative narratives can lead to a state of chronic anxiety, making us susceptible to manipulation and distracting us from our inner power. And big corporations, through aggressive marketing and the promotion of artificial needs, thrive on the fear of inadequacy, the fear of missing out, or the fear of not having enough. They create a scarcity mindset, driving endless consumption and perpetuating a feeling of perpetual dissatisfaction. This system is designed to keep us looking outside ourselves for solutions, for happiness, for security, rather than cultivating these states from within. This fear-based world encourages separation. It pits us against each other, nation against nation, religion against religion, individual against individual, fostering competition and distrust. It reinforces the illusion that resources are limited, that we must fight for our share, and that vulnerability is a weakness to be exploited. This creates a deeply embedded collective trauma, a sense of being perpetually unsafe, which then trickles down into our personal lives, manifesting as anxiety, depression, and a pervasive feeling of disempowerment. The question is, how do we break free from such an ancient and entrenched system? The path to love, healing as revolution. The answer lies in understanding that this shift is not primarily an external battle, but an internal transformation. The power of love isn't cultivated by fighting against fear, but by dissolving its roots within ourselves. This is where healing work becomes the most profound act of revolution. Our bodies and minds carry the imprints of personal trauma, but also the energetic residue of collective pain. We inherit generational patterns of fear, scarcity, and unresolved emotional wounds. Doing our healing work means consciously engaging with these imprints, whether through therapy, meditation, energy work, conscious breathing, or other self-discovery practices. It means acknowledging the pain, feeling it fully, and then releasing it with compassion. As we undertake this vital inner work, we begin to truly remember our power. This isn't about gaining power over others, but reclaiming our inherent, sovereign power within. We remember that we are creators of our reality, not passive victims of circumstance. We recall our innate connection to the divine, to the universe, and to the limitless wellspring of love that resides at our core. This remembrance isn't a theoretical concept. It's a visceral knowing, a deep activation of our authentic selves. And as we remember our power, a conscious choice emerges. We can choose to cultivate love within. This isn't a forced sentiment. It's a natural outpouring from a healed and open heart. It's a deliberate decision to operate from compassion, understanding, and acceptance, even when faced with fear or negativity. This cultivation of inner love then naturally extends outward. We can choose to share this love with our brothers and our sisters, not just those in our immediate circle, but with all of humanity. This manifests as acts of kindness, empathy, forgiveness, and a genuine desire for the well-being of others. It's seeing the divine spark in everyone, even those who seem lost in fear. Love's triumph, the crumbling of the old paradigm. This process of individual and collective healing and the cultivation of love creates a powerful ripple effect. As more and more of us consciously choose love over fear, we begin to cultivate a world, an earth, a new earth, that is saturated with this higher vibration. Think of it as a rising tide of consciousness. As the collective energy field shifts, the very foundation of the fear-based system begins to tremble. When a critical mass of humanity cultivates this profound love, the powers that be that have tried to instill fear into us for so long will naturally start to crumble. Why? Because love is always, unequivocally, more powerful than fear. It operates at a higher vibration. Fear, being a lower frequency, simply cannot sustain itself in the presence of consistent, powerful love. It's like trying to maintain a cold front in the middle of a blazing sun. The cold eventually dissipates. The manipulation, the threats, the scarcity tactics, these tools of fear-based control lose their efficacy when people remember their power and choose love. When you cultivate love within, you become less susceptible to external threats. When you choose abundance, the illusion of scarcity loses its grip. When you embody freedom, manipulation has no hold. The individuals and systems that rely on fear to maintain their power will find their strategies ineffective. The people who are trying to instill fear into you will naturally fall, not necessarily through violent overthrow, but through the simple energetic truth that their low-frequency tactics can no longer resonate with a high-frequency collective. Their power dissolves because the ground from which it drew sustenance, human fear, is no longer fertile. The call to action. Your role in the new earth. So, the invitation is clear, and it is urgent. Do your work to heal. This is your non-negotiable contribution to the collective shift. Dive into your shadows, embrace your wounds, and allow the alchemical process of healing to transform your pain into wisdom and strength. This healing is not selfish, it is profoundly communal. As you heal, you will remember your power. This is the power of creation, the power of choice, the power to define your own reality. It's the power to say no to fear and yes to love. And from this place of remembered power, you will find your love within. It's already there, waiting to be unearthed, boundless and unconditional. When you embody this love, you become a beacon, a catalyst for change. And as more and more of us do this, we will collectively create this earth that is full of love together. This isn't a utopian fantasy. It's a conscious act of co-creation, a vibrational shift that is already underway. It's the building of a new earth, not on the ruins of the old, but on the transformed consciousness of humanity. This is your unique and vital role in the Great Awakening. You are not just a passive observer in this grand transition. You are an active participant, a co-creator of a world where love reigns supreme. Embrace your healing journey, reclaim your inherent power, and allow the boundless love within you to light the way for a future that truly reflects our highest potential. The choice is yours, and the time is now.